Hi, Ken Gurman here. I'm the Unstoppable Geek. I'm an author, speaker, and a certified business coach. And one of the things I wanted to talk to you about is I wanted to talk to you today about, and it was just kind of a funny experience I was thinking about, is when I was younger, first learning how to ride a bicycle. I think I was around 5 years old. And I struggled with learning how to ride a bicycle, and it was really kind of interesting because my father only allowed me to have my mom and dad only would allow me to have the training wheels on my bicycle for a short amount of time because they wanted to make sure that I would learn how to ride a bicycle and that I wouldn't have to have training wheels to hold me up while I was riding the bicycle. They didn't want to have me. They wanted me to learn how to ride a bicycle. And I remember having several accidents and getting scarred up and getting beaten up from riding that bicycle and falling all the time and running into stuff. And I remember coming home. I remember going into the garage. We had a two-car garage, and my dad had the training wheels taken off my bicycle. And I was a pretty smart kid at the young age, and still, I guess I still am. But what was funny about the situation is that I got the idea in my head that there's no way that I'm ever gonna hurt myself again like that ever again. I'm gonna sneak the training wheels back on my bicycle. So I went into the garage. This was at 5 years. I think I was 5 years old, and I knew what wrenches to use and how to use them. And I proceeded to take my bicycle apart so I could put the training wheels back on my bike. And just about as I got the training wheels back on my bicycle, my father comes around the corner and goes, "Kenneth," because my dad's name was Kenneth, "what are you doing? We talked about this. You're not supposed to do that. You're going to learn how to ride a bicycle." I'm like, "Dad, I keep on hurting myself," and blah, blah, blah. I just started crying. So we're going to solve this problem right away. We're going to learn how to ride a bicycle the way my father taught me how to ride a bicycle. Now, my parents' house has a 400-foot driveway. And at the end of the driveway, it kind of tees off into a perpendicular off into two roads. There's a road that kind of runs east and west, and then there's a road that runs north and south. But in order to get to the north and south road, you kind of have to veer off a little bit to the right coming out of our driveway. Otherwise, you're going to hit the curb. So after when my father was there, he says, "Well, we're going to take care of this right away. We're going to get you riding the bike." So we're at the top of my 400-foot driveway, and you can imagine what's going to happen next. And I get on my bicycle, no helmets at the time, and my father's there, my mother's there, I think maybe my brothers was even there too, and they push me down that 400-foot driveway, and I am scared shitless. And they're going, "Pedal, pedal, 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 pedal." So I start pedaling, and I'm doing really, really well. I get down to about maybe 3/4 down the driveway, and then they suddenly realize that, well, he's pedaling really good, but he's heading for the curb, and if he doesn't turn, he's going to crash. So they go, "Turn! Don't forget to turn! Turn right! Watch the road!" Because it was a busy road. So it was at night, so it wasn't dangerous. And they had I think my brother was down there on the other road making sure that everything was going to be cool. But I'm like, I'm heading for that curb. I'm heading for that curb, and I turned, boom, and I avoided crashing. And that was one of those experiences that just kind of stays with you for a long time in your life. I'm 46 now, so that was a long time ago. And that was just my experience about riding a bicycle. So then the next day, I didn't need training wheels. I had overcome my fear of failing. I had overcome my fear of falling, of getting hurt on the bicycle. And that kind of reminded me about starting your business. That reminded me about the fear that many of us have in chasing our hearts. Quieting the mind, quieting the voice, and letting your heart speak. Because that fear that you have of crashing into that curb and getting hurt, once you overcome it, once you become a champion to that fear, you know that you can overcome anything. Once you become a champion to that pain. As I just found this quote recently, it was a Muhammad Ali, this is kind of an ad-lib, what from Muhammad Ali about, that he hated the training, but he wanted to become a champion, and he was willing to do whatever it took to become a champion. So what's it going to take for you to become a champion for yourself? What's it going to take for you to become a champion for your family? What's it going to take for you to step up your game to create a better life for your family? Because the future isn't looking pretty bright. As positive as a person as I am, the only path I could find was to create my own business. Because that's my passion, that's my purpose, is to help other people create part-time businesses that pay more than their full-time jobs. Why? So that you have the freedom in your life to pursue your dreams and passions. You have the ability to choose what you love to do for the love of doing it and not because you have to. So can you remember in your life where you had an experience in your life where you were so afraid that you were just terrified of that happening, crashing into a curb or whatever, some outcome that you thought was possible? When you're going down a 400-foot driveway going, 15, 20 miles an hour on a bicycle. I don't know how fast it was going. It was pretty fast for a 5-year-old. Maybe it was a little bit older. I was young. And then you have the courage to make that turn before you crash into the curb and realize, this is frickin' fun. This isn't as bad as I thought. So I'm challenging you to become the champion for yourself and the champion to create a better life for you and your family. Because the opportunities are there if you're willing to take action, if you're willing to do something about it, if you're willing to get off your ass and listen to your heart, quiet your mind, quiet your voice, and just let God talk. Because He's guiding you in that direction. You just need to listen. So my name is Ken Gurman. This is part of the video challenge that I'm currently doing. And I'm here to help you be successful, and I'm helping you connect with your passion, helping you connect with your purpose, and helping you create a part-time business that pays more than your full-time job, so that you can have the freedom in your life to do what you love to do. Have an awesome day, and I will see you next time. Hi, my name is Ken Gurman. I'm the Unstoppable Geek. And what I wanted to talk today about is I wanted to just talk today about my entrepreneurial experience and how for a long time I sold out. When I was 7 years old, I worked on a family business for my mom and dad, on a landscape business. And in a landscape business, you have a lot of pots, a lot of containers with a lot of trees and shrubs in them that have weeds in them. And my job back then when I was 7 years old is to pull weeds from the pots. And we get paid a penny a pot, which when back then, was a lot of money. And over a period of time of working the business, well, I spent most of my, from age 7 on, pretty much strapped to my dad's leg, listening to everything he was talking to with customers on the sales lot. Because my father worked full-time for 3M as a landscape supervisor for about 42 years. And we had the part-time, well, we had the business, the landscape business, and my mother ran it most of the time when my father was at work. Well, she ran it when my father was at work. And my father knew landscaping really, really well, and I have a near photographic memory. I can't always remember what my wife asks me to do, but that's just a different story. So I spent a lot of time around my father when he was on the landscape lot, and whether I was on his leg or I was usually within earshot of everything he was saying, and I was memorizing everything he was saying and telling people. And I think I was about 10 years old when I started doing sales in landscape design. And these people would come to the landscape, and so my father was very, very busy, and said, well, you know, I can help you. They look at me and they just laugh at me. What does a little kid like you at 10 years old think they can do to help me design my house? You know? So I said, I'll tell you what. You know, my father's the owner. If you're not completely satisfied, then, you know, you can happily wait for him, but he's going to be several hours before he'll be available. So if you just give me a shot, because, you know, my father taught me everything I know. And back in the early days, my father used to draw the landscape plans out with a stick and stones in the ground on the sales lot. So what did I do? I duplicated what he did. I would take and I would lay out the entire landscape design in the dirt. And it got to the point where I was doing really, really good in the sales, because it was all about building relationships with my customers. And they would come in to the sales lot, and my father wasn't busy, and they would go, well, is Kenny there? Now, I don't let everybody call me Kenny, but is Kenny here? Or sometimes they say Ken. Well, I'm Ken. I said, no, the little one. They would ask for me instead of my father. Well, no, you know, I know that your son can take care of us, so, you know, I know you're busy, and, you know, blah, 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 blah. And they would keep on coming back to me. Now, the reason that I sold out and didn't stay the path of the entrepreneur is because one of the things I didn't like about a family business is, as a member of the family, you were always the last person to get paid. And all we ever talked about over the dinner table was how we're going to pay the business bills and how we're going to pay our bills. And I didn't want to have that kind of lifestyle. So at age 16, I got tired of being the last person to get paid, you know. I'd have a hot date. My mom and dad had owed me like $500 from working. Well, you know, we'll pay you half now, and then, you know, we'll pay you half later. I said, well, you know, I had a hot date tonight, and I had some plans for that money. So as soon as I turned 16 and could work for somebody else and get a regular paycheck, I did. And my first job away from my parents was being a busboy working for a restaurant, because that was the other thing I was really good at when I was growing up, is we had to cook for ourselves. You know, I advanced from grilled cheese sandwiches to macaroni and cheese to SpaghettiOs to pretty much the experimental cooker. You know, I laugh when I used to say some of the concoctions I would make would be like eggs erroneous. I forget the name of the movie, but I think if you ever saw the movie, you laugh and you know it. But my point is that It took me 20 plus years to learn to love myself because of my gifts as an intuitive energy healer and a psychic medium. And after the 65 mile an hour collision, to have enough pain in my life, enough discomfort in my life, that the only choice I could actually take to create my own economic recovery was to design a business and create a business where I would never have to worry about money ever again. But I would never be in a position where, over a 5-year period of time of taking a 40% reduction in salary and losing my house. Now, they tell you not to talk about your struggles, but I think it's important that you understand your struggles to understand where I was and to understand where I'm going and how I can help you. So in my business, starting this past, and I burned a lot of money, learned a lot of lessons. So when you go and every Wednesday when you come to my hangouts or my webinars, I'm teaching you about the things that I've learned, and I'm doing it for free because I want to help you create a successful business where you're going to be working with me and joining my team, or whether you're going to be doing private coaching, or however you want to work together that best suits your situation. I can help you. But my business model, like I've talked about before, is to plug people, get people into a digital franchise where the profit margins are pretty high, where you don't have to put $5 in to get $1 out. You can put $1 in and get $1.50 or $1 out, or $2 out, or $3 out, or even up to $7 out, depending upon, well, and that's just the way it is. That's the profitability. When you're in the information services and education business, there's a high profit margin. So that's what I want to just, for a long time, I resisted going back to the path of the entrepreneur because I sold out. I sold out for a paycheck. And it wasn't until I had enough pain in my life, enough discomfort in my life, and frankly a lot of disappointment, because I worked my ass off for 20 plus years to get to the level of salary I was at, just with a couple strokes of a pen to have it taken away. So, what is it that's stopping you from starting a business? What is it for you that's stopping you from embracing your passion, from quieting your mind? Stop listening to the solutions that your mind is trying to argue out, shutting those gremlins down. Those little guys that are just, well, that'll never work. Bullshit, it will too. To just quietly listening to saying you should do this. Because when you start using the word figure, it's your head talking. When a soothing feeling comes over your heart, that you just hear this voice coming from your soul, that's your heart talking. That's God talking. That's who you need to listen to. That's who I'm listening to now. Because I don't have any other choice to create any other lifestyle that I want to create for myself and for my family and the people that I work with. Because the pain was great enough in my life that I had to overcome it. That I was forced into the position of getting my business going. And it's the best choice I've ever made, next to marrying my wife. Because without her, I'd never have the courage to do what I'm doing now without her support. So my name is Ken Gurman. I'm the Unstoppable Geek. And I just want to share with you the reasons I sold out and what caused me to start my own business. So have an awesome day, and we will see you next time.